Hello and welcome back to Archers Arena for the Four Nations Under-18 tournament here. We are just about getting ready for Wales men against Ireland men. We've just come off so many fantastic games of basketball here today. Of course, we started off with Wales men against England men. That was a big win for England. And then Ireland against Wales women. That was a win for the Irish. The Irish continued their winning ways against Scotland in the men's competition, and we just saw the England women beat Scotland also. So here today in the penultimate game of the day before we move into Wales v Scotland women, my name is David Jones and I'm here to take you through this along with Tom Guntrip. Everyone here at Archers Arena knows your name, Tom. You are Mr. Archers, of course, so I'm really happy to be able to go through this one, the Wales game, with you.
Oh, great. Thank you for that introduction, Dav. You know, I always enjoy the Wales boys games as well. I'm in sort of a unique position. We're being involved in the Wales senior men setup as well, and kind of for the moment helping lead on the under-23s, or the Futures programme as we like to call it. So
fantastic.
Taking a keen interest as a fan and as a potential coach for a few of these boys, and I've had the privilege of coaching Ravi a little bit as well this season. So yeah, really exciting for me to see these Wales boys, but also having watched Ireland play a couple of times, they look like a very good outfit. So it's a big challenge for Wales today. Absolutely.
They looked like they were on fire against Scotland from three. That seemed like a massive strategy for them, that they really wanted to play with pace and with space. How do you think Wales are going to be able to cope with that?
It's very difficult to cope with that. Ireland are a great team. They gave England a little bit of a beatdown in a friendly last night. And then, a really good performance from them today. It's a bit different for Ireland, and they have to prepare for the European Championships as a unit, whereas for GB it's not quite the same thing. Obviously, England players tend to make up the most of it, but there's also plenty of players who are not currently in the country. So for them, they've had a lot of practice time together. They get together regularly through the season, and then for England and Scotland, they tend to be able to get together less. Same with Wales. So for Wales, it's about making sure that their strategies are probably quite simple. They don't, they have trained fairly regularly, probably more regularly than most Wales teams, but at the same time, there's a difference in sort of basketball infrastructure as well. So if your strategies are simple and you can execute them under pressure, that's going to be the main chance there of success.
Absolutely. Well, simplicity could be the way forwards then, but then that needs to come down to fundamentals, surely. Like not giving the ball away. In the England game, that was the biggest problem for them. So many turnovers, over 25 in the game. Surely, as a coach yourself, over 25 turnovers in a 40-minute game is unacceptable.
Yeah, I'd probably put the mark at 15, to be honest. If you put, honestly, if you probably look at the general correlation of statted basketball games in this country, you're probably looking at 15, 16 as the benchmark of, if you've had less than that, you've looked after the ball well, you've probably played quite good offense. More than that, you're going to struggle to compete. 27 is too many. I think the length there of England, like they've got a lot of athletes across the board, even just at that initial point guard position, let alone when you get up to the big players. Obviously, they've got quite the talent pool. Yeah. For Ireland, they've got a similar size population, but they've got quite a few athletes there, so it's going to be a similar thing. Can they handle that physical pressure? Now, are you breaking that through individual brilliance? Are you breaking that through team strategy? That's what Coach Nick O'Leary has to decide. It'll be about, can you keep your composure and execute whatever that tactic is under pressure?
Well, Jack and Lucas Davis did look like they both had a bit of spark to them in that England game. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they can bring that here right now. Ball handling has to be at the forefront of this Welsh team's mind here. They need to look after the ball and they need to defend really well, because this is such an athletic Irish team. Because when we were seeing them playing against Scotland, Scotland had so much size, but they seemed to not be able to match up with the athleticism of Ireland. What's the key difference there? If someone's at home going, oh, surely you just want the biggest player possible. What's the difference between size and athleticism?
Yeah, the athleticism comes into a little bit more about the fast twitch fibres. If you want to get real scientific, effectively Wales, we don't produce many great athletes, and we generally don't produce many great ball handlers across the years. Ireland have got a lot of size, but they played quite dynamically in that game earlier today. They were able to. It wasn't like one individual's getting all the way to the hoop every time. It's an accumulation of 3 or 4 drives that collapse the defense, and then longer closeouts, great kickouts. They knock down shots, which makes you want to go to the shooter. And then on the 5th or 6th pass, that's when the lane really opens up. So they were quite patient in their offense, but they did it at speed as well. That's the sort of standard that Wales probably needs to be aspiring to. And if they can match that offensive tempo, they'll have a good chance.
Well, we're just about to get started. Let's see if it pans out that way. It does go the way of the Irish from the tip-off. Here they come driving, and it's a beautiful runner to get started straight away. It's Cuff, who had a fantastic game against Scotland. He gets the island started straight away. Wales in that far corner. Here is Davies. To the other Davies, trying to get it down low. The three is good, but it misses straight off the front, Ryan.
Good look there. I think they'll probably take that more often than not. Nice post-entry pass, sucks in the double team, get the kick out.
Once again, Cuff barreling straight towards the basket. This time it's a straight hand lay, and Ireland have recovered it straight away from the restart. Beautiful little double clutch there. Uosis had a fantastic defensive game against Scotland. Wow, that's beautiful. Josh Tudor, he had a very good game against England, really stood out offensively.
Yeah, the pick and roll defense broke down for Wales on that last play. They weren't sure exactly how to defend it. It'll be interesting to see if they get it. Looks like they're trying to jam and under, so force Ireland to be shooters. They just didn't quite execute last time, but a better effort there from Tudor and Davis.
The mid-range J is up and just a little too strong there, and Tudor is able to bring that down for the Welsh. Nice and calm collection from Davies. Finds his way to Marion. Back to Davies. Tries to turn the corner. He's fouled in the process.
Yeah, just two hands too much in, but a nice little bit of motion offense there. Just getting things moving a little bit more. Wales aren't going to be able to just drive straight at people with no advantage. We don't have that sort of 1v1 creation skills. But if we can get a little bit of motion first, we definitely have the ability to take advantage of that. I say we.
It's all right. We're both Welsh here. Tudor doing very well under the basket. Davies knocks it down from three. That's a fantastic start for the Welsh outfit.
Yeah, another nice pass from Tudor there. If your post players can make those sorts of passes, that's a really good sign. They want to collapse the paint. They're allowing Wales to shoot that. Nice pass out to help take advantage of it.
And Tudor there on the other side is punished. Defense in the post, so key. Travel there. He knew it.
Yeah. You could just sense it. You can see a lot sometimes. You might get away with it if you just believe that you haven't done it, but players know when they've done it and they kind of hesitate expecting a whistle to go.
Here come the Irish once more with Cuff. Been leading the ball handling duties so far. Side out. Call from the referee there.
Yeah, the shot clock didn't start on time there. But can get a bit stuck on these hoops, so yeah, shot clock just taken down from 24 to 20 there.
Here's Uosis. And it's a beautiful little floppy play. Comes up with a three, but it's no hit.
For Ireland, with this preparation for the Euros, you will need set plays to execute at that high level. In these tournaments, you can sometimes just play a little bit of motion and dribble drive, but really nice set there from Ireland.
Ireland there thought that block was clean, but Tudor will head to the line. Opportunity to get free throws here. A couple of fouls early for the Irish team. How much of an advantage is it if you can get a couple of early quick fouls over your opponent? Yeah,
if a couple of them are on the same player, either they get taken out, they're generally one of the better players if they're starting, unless there's a real particular strategy element. As a player, you see a couple of free throws go through the hoop, you feel a lot better about your next jump shot. And then from that team perspective, if you pick up 2 or 3, quick free throws and quick fouls, then team fouls gets that little bit closer. As a coach, we've seen it loads of times in coaching. Team fouls with 7 minutes to go in a quarter, everything starts to go towards the rim. You get a lot of free throws, you live at the line, and you can pick up some easy points.
Absolutely. Here come the Irish once more. Here's Uosis once more. Beautiful baseline drive. That right-hand finish was very clean.
Yeah, nice little job, as we just mentioned, Okoji being subbed out after 2 fouls. Again, that forces an early change of strategy from Ireland.
It's another whistle here. Side out restart to be taken by Tudor. Just got a hand to that, did the Irish.
They're forced to go towards places they don't really want to go. If you get trapped towards your own baseline, you find it very difficult to break pressure. So they're being forced to catch the ball very low, very far below their own free throw line. They want to try and get a little bit further up the court, and then they've got a bit more space to go back into, and you know, the dangers of the turnover are lessened.
Here is Marion. Hit a couple of beautiful mid-range shots, and he thought about it there, but managed to release it just in time, but Tudor couldn't collect.
Oh, nice play coming off the pin down. The jump shot, thought it was on, the help defender came, nice dish off. Tudor just probably needs to take that first time rather than let them fly by. I think players sometimes worry about the block, but actually just go up, and if you get blocked, fair play, but you're more likely to get a foul call.
Also good to see Captain Joe Thomas there, trying to give some words of encouragement to Tudor on the way back down, but he actually gets bullied himself down low there.
They tried to take the charge. Referees weren't on board with that one.
Here is Joe Thomas, and that'll go out of bounds.
Joe Thomas had a really good tournament last year, one of the really impactful players, had a couple of really nice dunks, but he also sort of helped get that offense ticking. Obviously a very different Wales team this year. A couple of these guys who are starting now were on the bench of that team, so they've kind of progressed through, but Joe Thomas is a mainstay of both teams, and there's probably a lot of responsibility on his shoulders in this game.
Substitution coming in, Whitney Embleton coming in for Jack Davis. Here is Oasis once more. The three from the top of the key, hit two of those in the earlier game against Scotland. It's dangerous if you're going to let these Irish heat up from range. Marion, nice pass. Kick out. And the drive from Davies. The ball will stay with Wales.
Yeah, a really good take from Lucas Davis there. Bumped off the pressure, and then a long steps, but relatively slow steps. Like long steps meaning the defense can't get back round in front, create a little bit of separation. He'll be annoyed he didn't finish that, but it was a nice move building up.
Davies once again leading with the ball for Wales. And this time the ball goes the way of the Irish. Just coming up to halfway point in this first quarter. The Irish currently leading by 8, 15-7. Plenty of time, of course. So much basketball left to play. This is still not the final game of the day, remember. Got a fantastic women's game coming up after this, and 6 more games tomorrow. Foul called against Marion. Unnecessary foul there.
Yeah, just got caught. And in there, I think he was asking the referee to look at maybe the offensive player initiated that contact more, but I think that's one of those fouls where, yes, in theory, you probably could have let it go, but fundamentally, it's not great defense to be caught in that situation. You've got to save your fouls when you really need them.
Absolutely. And another foul there on the new substitution, Whitney Embleton.
Same call, I'd argue there. You know, if the referees are consistent, then you have to adapt to them, and you know, that was probably 2 hands in for too long.
Right.
1 hand you might get away with. If you're using 2 to push someone, then you're pretty much always going to get pinged for that, because the referees are looking for 1 hand or 2 in some circumstances.
Marion able to get there on the closeout and just put off Oasis. Interesting, when you're saying there about players needing to adapt to the way the referees are calling the game, is that something that you'd expect the players to be able to adapt to on their own, or does that have to come from the coaches?
Experienced players will be able to do it on their own, but it's not easy, and even at the senior level, we still have to talk about the sort of maybe the exact specifics of what they're calling and why. You can't make too many changes in the game. That would be more of a practice thing, but you certainly have to remind people, okay, they're calling everything, go hard to the hoop, but keep your hands out. Or maybe if they're calling nothing, then you can get a little bit more physical, or you can chase a few more rebounds. You have to sort of balance your tactics. You can't make too many technical changes, but tactical changes you can.
Joe Thomas there misses the 3, and then straight away on defense gives away the foul in transition. Side out for the Irish. Okay, we get it going again. The referee's just in slight discussion there.
Yeah, they looks like maybe what type of foul call there.
There's been a couple of discussions here today about upgrading it to an unsportsmanlike foul.
Maybe the player number. No. Okay, so for the first time outside of a GB game, we will have a review. I've been told all about this by Dan Williams, and they are going to take a look, as we can see here. So this is the review system they use to have international games. So they've used this at GB games, but the first time outside of a GB game in GB, the IRS has been reused.
Wow. That happened once in the last game also. Fascinating to see the progressions.
And there we go, unsportsmanlike foul called. The IRS serves its purpose. And a little bit of unusual history made there. But this is the benefit of being able to have this system. You can use it for potential unsportsmanlike fouls. That's what it's here for this. So to be able to do that and to make sure that the correct decision is made, you know, that's a historic moment for a British basketball right there. Something that they're hoping to roll out of the BBL across all games next season. And, you know, weird to say we were privy to that moment of history there.
Fantastic to see the development of the sport right in front of our eyes. Joe Thomas, the captain, does then sit. Jack Davis returning for Wales. Rhys Cornelius also stepping in. He had a fantastic game against England. One of the only players who came out of there with head held high. A fantastic rebound there from Cornelius. Here is Davies, trying to turn the corner, has to stop on a dime. Embleton. Cornelius thought about it, has to reset. Seconds ticking down, and it'll be Ireland ball. Marion unable to retrieve it from the pass.
Yeah, and there's that sort of pressure that you were talking about, Alidab, like that length there having an impact. And just having had an opportunity to watch back on this incredible stream, agreed that it was an unsportsmanlike foul. Didn't look like a play was made for the ball in all earnest, and that's going to cost them 2 free throws and a little bit of momentum going Ireland's way now.
Absolutely, Oasis there with the mid-range J. I'll take him up to 7 points already. And Ireland's pressure in the front court instantly proving worthy. The 8-second violation called.
Joe Thomas coming straight back into the game there, but yeah, they're struggling between sort of breaking it individually and looking at whether or not that the team needs to break it together. And 8-second violations, as a coach, you think yes, 8-second violation is normally the embodiment of great team defense. Like you struggle to pick up an 8-second violation on your own. So Paul Keller will be very happy about that one.
Josh Tudor returning, as well as Joe Thomas, and it's a travel called.
A much better defense there. We've seen Conor Whitney Embleton called for that one before. Had a hand in a little bit, but that's probably perfectly fine at the international level, but really active, aggressive, and it forced the attacker to not be sure on the switch and force the travel. So credit there to Whitney Embleton on that defense.
Davies gets the shot up, but it was a little wild, and Ireland have a chance here on the break. Wow. Luke Davies with the shot on one end and Jack Davies on the other end with the foul. Sorry, I got those names switched up.
It's easily done, isn't it? I had the same with the Porters earlier.
Oh, yeah,
at least the Porters are related. Lucas and Jack are, as far as I know.
No, it's just coincidence, I believe.
Well, it's a very Welsh one.
Oh yeah.
But you know, a solid effort on both ends there. They both didn't quite execute the skills, but that happens sometimes.
Good speed by Joe Thomas on the break there. Managed to avoid the block, and Tudor cleans it up off the glass and will head to the line for 2 more.
Couldn't quite see the referee there, but imagine that was called on Jacob and Kenya there. Just once you're in the air, it's easy as an attacker if you haven't left the ground to do a slight lead in, wait for them to hit you, and then go up. That's really smart offensive play there to sort of embrace that contact, allow them to commit the obvious foul, and put them in a little bit further trouble.
It's the kind of thing you see in the NBA all the time. Uosis taking a seat on the bench.
Obviously, as its flip side, sometimes you want players to just go straight up, but I think if you're already stopped, there's no harm in letting them go. In transition, I think just go take it, don't fake it.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't even know that was going to rhyme, Dav. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make that part of my coaching philosophy.
A little bit of tactical dark arts for you, straight from the knife. Oh, someone good. Here come Ireland once more. And the 3 is beautiful.
That looked good, didn't it? That looked good for the moment. We saw a nice little pin down away from the ball, and that looked like a great release from the moment we saw it.
Wales once again under pressure from the trap. Embleton giving instructions. Wants to go left, gives the handoff. Tudor, good screen. The bank is closed.
I think it's a good decision there, I think, from Davis. They went under the screen, and Wales are struggling to score the ball. They're struggling to really get too close to the hoop on occasion, so it's probably worth looking at pulling that shot, to be honest.
And Ravi of the Archers arrives.
This is a cool moment for Archers. His under-18 coach James Dorr is here. We had Ravi for just one game with the first team at National League this year, Reading Rockets away in the cup against the D1 team, and he wasn't phased by the moment at all. He's been, he's undersized, Ravi, but he's got a lot of speed, and he's been playing against massive players in under-18 Prem all year. So I think he's been scoring loads, so this won't phase him at all.
Played very well in the Basketball Wales National League Cup squad as well. There's Tudor with the rebound.
He's also got so much speed on the ball that he might be able to break the pressure just by himself without needing that team stuff. Each guard's got their own sort of skill sets. They really likes the controller, Jack Davis, but Ravi's got that sort of wild card energy about him.
Exciting to have a bit of spark off the bench for Wales. Seconds ticking down. Davies trying to draw the foul. Arms stretched out, but he's never going to get that one.
A referee changed his mind.
That's a beautiful transition play for Ireland. Ireland getting their points in a hurry, and Wales taking the full 24 seconds seemingly to get a shot up.
That's the impact of that length. It forces every single pass to be slightly second-guessed.
And Ravi with that quick first step, but rather quickly rejected at the rim.
Yeah, also Ryan there, just not allowing anything to pass there. It's a big rejection, but as a coach, you're probably looking at going, that's a good shot. He just happened to get on it.
The ability of having two big, long defenders protecting the rim. Once again, Davies with time against him. Has a wild shot.
May have just slipped on the moment of release, and also the presence of the defense there, just forcing him to not want to take that. It was coming out flying for the block. And again, that length and that aggression, if you allow it to get on top of you, the defenders also get a little bit more comfortable and go for more and more and more, so you have to find a way of not allowing them to get on top of you in those circumstances.
Also, Ryan and Sheridan take a breather on the Irish bench. Also, Ryan, who already has 7 points and 2 rebounds, sorry.
They're doing a good job there, forcing that turnover. Just Wales need a little bit more of that. They've just got to create a couple more little opportunities to maybe get out in transition and see if they can pick up some easy ones to make themselves feel a little bit happier.
Nice pass, split the defense, and the runner seemed like the right decision there. Here's Ravi. Joe Thomas, the captain, clapping and demands the ball, and will stay with Wales.
Went for the spin move, but the defender cut them off. I think they're a little bit hesitant to just try and attack Ireland here. I think that's playing into Ireland's hands. Occasionally they just need to kind of drive at them and then maybe see if they can make that extra pass.
And the 3-ball from Ravi misses everything. Here come the Irish on the break again. The 3 bounces off the back iron. Saved. Kept in brilliantly, his Sharp. Give and go is fantastic. The and 1 is called. That's a huge play for Sharp.
A really nice move. As soon as that ball went in, the defender's head just turned. Yep. Cuts past Jack Davis. Gets caught reaching in. Really nice play there. A really nice post pass as well. I'm a big fan of a nice little bounce pass out of the post. There's a couple of post players in the crowd that would be happy with that as well.
Oh, yes.
I can see a couple of them.
And once again, the pressure from Ireland causing so many problems. And the ball has been turned over. Ireland will get the restart from the sideline.
And this is where they keep catching so low down. They need to get higher up before they catch it. And then if Ireland want to maintain that high position, maybe you need to look at lobbing that ball over the top and being a little bit more direct.
The 3 ball is off this time. But you know that's not going to turn away the Irish. That was a fantastic effort at the block, but it is a foul indeed. Whitney Embleton going up for this one.
Well, there's that confidence we talk about. They want to block everything. So, you know, you will, if you keep going strong, you will pick up fouls. You kind of have to take the rough with the smooth. If you're scared of being blocked, you won't get any layups, especially against a team that is trying to block everything. You find with athletic teams, because they can, they will.
And it's the double trouble of it gets into the head of the opposition that, oh, I can't go for this. And that hesitancy actually leads to worse decisions being made around the basket.
Yeah, absolutely. You've sometimes just got to take it strong. And if you get blocked, you get blocked. And you just live with it sometimes. But, you know, as a coach and staff, you've got to make it clear that you're happy with those sorts of things. And maybe this is something that Nicola Lilly and Jack Adams will look at, like, be strong going to the rim, like you are getting free throws, you are getting fouled.
3 misses everything there for the Irish, but the reverse from Malachi is absolutely gorgeous. The Welsh do take a timeout here.
Looks like end of the quarter, and that's a rough one for
Oh,
Wales.
My apologies. Yes, of course, that was the final play. That beautiful reverse with time ticking down. I thought we had a couple of seconds left, but the time just tipped right over. It's been a fantastic first quarter here between Wales and Ireland. Look at this 3-point shot.
Yeah, held the form nicely. It's tough when a shooter's closing out. You get a bit scared. Again, that's the whole point of going for the block. You've got to make sure that you just hold your form. Whatever your form is, don't let the shooters put you off. Sorry, the defenders put you off as a shooter.
Absolutely. Uosis, when you knock that down from the top of the key, he's done that twice against Scotland. We know how comfortable he is there. That step back mid-range J. So clean.
And when you've got size as a shooter as well, Dav, it makes it a lot easier, less worried about being blocked. That's the thing with this Wales team, because they don't have a lot of size at that guard position. If you look across Jack Davis, Lucas Davis, Ravi Murray, they don't have lots of size, whereas, you know, the Irish guards generally tend to be a bit bigger, so they're less concerned about the defender on that shot. And it's only a couple of inches each time, but that stacks up over the course of the team and across the defense as well. If everywhere is just a little bit closer to you as a defender.
Absolutely. It's all a game of inches. Just take a look at these stats coming in before the second quarter. So far, the Irish shooting a very good 54% clip from the field. Wales shooting 11%. Wales actually shooting better from 3 than they are from the field. 12%. Shooting 1 for 8. And 2 for 6 for the Ireland, who'd actually shot less 3-pointers than Wales. Less attempts from deep. I would never, ever have expected that, but maybe that's the difference between this Wales squad and the Scotland squad, as you're suggesting, that the size differential is more of a factor here. So Ireland are taking it straight to the hoop more.
I also think that the shot clock has played an impact. I think 2 of Jack Davis's threes were sort of last second heaves. There was the one where he slipped and fell, but that shot still counts, even though it ends up as a shot clock violation. So I think there's probably a little bit of shot clock impact on that.
Now, once again, just like in the first, the Irish start off really strong. And Davies steps out, expecting a foul.
Yeah, I think I'd have gone with one. I think I'd have gone with a foul there, but 2 referees in line. We've got to trust their judgment. Looks like the Ireland players just using their body a little bit more. You can see Darrell Foster's come into the game for a step well over the line there. I haven't seen that for a long time.
A rookie error there from number 23 in Kiwi. Here is Rhys Cornelius finding Ravi.
Once again, catching in difficult areas. So saying Darrell Foster's into the game, Coventry Tornadoes. I've had him at a couple of sessions in the futures. He's probably one of the more athletic players in general on this squad. So maybe that'll add, and he's a little bit of a wild card, maybe that'll add something to make Wales a little bit less predictable.
Here come the Irish breaking through that line, and Ravi here has a chance on the break. Can he show that speed? It's into Cornelius. Nice kick out to Embleton. They feed it back to him. Can he make those broad shoulders work? Yes, he can.
Yeah, really nice post move. Just got to his spot, waited to see what the defence did, and just popped it over the top. Really nice work there from Rhys Cornelius.
Really calming the pressure there. Here is Price. Had a fantastic flurry of points at the end of the Scottish game. Didn't play until the final 5 minutes, and then still ended up with 11 points. This will be a Wales restart, but just look how many of these Irish players are up in the front court.
They're really key here that Wales don't catch too low, and I think we're going to be repeating ourselves, but it's a tricky place. Obviously, the speed of Ravi, he can burn past people, if we've just seen here.
A fantastic drive going court to court there from Ravi, and he will head to the line for 2 shots at the charity stripe.
He's just got a speed, he can just get that little step going past people. And Ravi sometimes has games where he finishes great, and sometimes has games where it doesn't go for him, but it's really important that he doesn't let that affect his decision-making process. And for this Wales team, maybe that little change of dynamic from that position is something that they need to keep looking at here and see if that opens things up for the shooters on the perimeter.
Interesting. Ravi, not the tallest player, but he seems to have really long legs, so those strides seem really long as he stepped into the paint there.
Yeah, he's got such speed that when he takes those long steps, it slows him down sometimes enough that defenders might fly past, but occasionally also he uses it to make sure that he's sort of burnt past them and then covers them off. He might take a step across so the defender can't come past him.
Got a side out here. Wales will take advantage of to get a couple of substitutes on. Meriden coming on for that mid-range touch, hopefully. Can apply that here. And the Irish come forward once more. It's Sharp going to Honest Iron.
So surprised to see Rhys Cornelius come off after that post score, but Nicola may be looking at matchups at the other end and not seeing lots and lots of size to match up with there. Perhaps wants a little bit more mobility and a little bit less size. Coaching is a matchup game. You've got to decide which matchups you want to try and force and which ones you're happy to live with. So do you try and match up with them, or do you try and force them to match up with you? And generally the better team gets to dictate those situations.
So when you're 18 down, would you be trying to match up with them, or would you be trying to get any advantage on the offensive end that you can?
I think you're probably looking at trying to limit them a little bit more.
Right.
I think that, while offense hasn't been great here, there's enough change of pace players in there already, but defensively, if you're never going to slow them down, you're probably not going to outscore them for the rest of the game.
I see.
You probably need to reel it back in a little bit, try and chip away. What are we at, 12 to 30? If they can make that, 20 to 35, that's a 15-point game. You can handle 15 points and a half.
Yes.
So I think they probably might look for defense to be the way forward and try and maybe get some scores on the break rather than breaking them down in the half court, come out at half time with a new strategy.
Interesting perspective. Durrell Foster there goes 1 for 2, and Meriden is able to get the rebound. Uses Travis's screen, and the ball is loose from Davies. And that's a kick ball. Oh, referees didn't see it.
Looks like they were trying to blitz on the pick and roll, and the roller wasn't expecting it.
Nice pass from Ravi. The layup is blown by Meriden. Nice bit of composure there from the Irish. Here is Price. Running sharp. There's a Koji. Covered and travelled.
Yeah, nice defense. Not much spacing there from the Irish offense, but really good defense just to stay upright. Make sure that your hands stay exactly where they've been the whole time. Force them into something that they don't want to do.
Really good defense there from the substitute playing his first minute of the tournament, Nathan Travers. Here is Luke Davies. Trying to break the lines here. Meriden's going to take a 3-point shot. Too strong. Travers with another rebound. Oh, he's having quite the impact.
Nice rebound. With these rims, the rebound goes quite long, so it's not a surprise that we're seeing so many offensive rebounds on this tournament because the defense is already so far in. At the same time, you can't get them if you don't go after them. And that's the same thing with the Irish blocks there. They're probably trying to go for too many blocks. Yeah. We've seen down that end a couple of times Wales taking a really nice vertical stand. Ireland going for a block every time. That paid off early, but they picked up a couple of recent fouls we'll have to see if they continue with that strategy. I'd imagine at the European Championships they're going to be required to have a bit more discipline and therefore aren't going to be able to continually go for blocks.
Oh, good pressure there again from Wales, and they have turned the ball over. They'll get another opportunity even though they missed both the layups, the free throws, sorry, at the line. Meriden gets it in to Luke Davies. Finds his way inside. A shot just too weak. And the ball will turn over to the Irish. Durham Foster unable to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, he thinks he was fouled there. You know, I don't know whether I agree or disagree, but if he takes it a little bit faster and a little bit stronger, I think he's going a little bit too slowly to the hoop there. If he goes to the hoop, he's got a little bit of strength to him, but also he's got that little bit of quick fire burst speed that he needs to make sure he uses.
Loose ball there, Ravi making sure to D up on the guard. Here's a Koji. And the turnover. Wales have a chance here if they can capitalise. Ravi chose to go alone instead of using his two teammate options. And now Ireland have the same opportunity. And Price makes no such mistake. Timeout called. Wales need to talk things over. I mean, in a fast break opportunity like that, you can't really make that mistake, can you?
No, the coach is there just discussing that probably should have driven, and then once you've drawn the defender across to you, found the dump-off pass. I think part of it is his speed takes him so far past the player. When you're talking about transition offense, you like to pass ahead into someone's steps to go towards the basket. He's got so much speed that maybe someone's in line with him, but once he goes, he's going to go past them.
Right.
So he needs to understand and be able to make that little dump-off pass. Now, whether he needs to go behind the back through his legs, you know, sometimes you do have to get creative in those situations where behind the back pass is perfectly acceptable. But once he gets to here, he then has to make sure he passes that off, because they were in 3v1. He probably shouldn't be getting blocked at the rim there.
Absolutely. Is that something that comes from just experience and reps and games like these and experience like exactly that?
Yeah, absolutely. At the lowest levels that he's played at, he will have gone and scored that anyway, because people aren't going to be able to keep up with them, or they're going to be broadly his size.
Yes.
Then you get exposure to under-18s men's Premier National League, and it gets a little bit harder again, where you have to maybe put a little bit more arc on the finish. And then we can step up again to internationals where, right, these are the biggest and best that Ireland have.
Yeah.
You are the biggest and best that Wales have. It's not going to be as easy as it might be every Friday night. So you do have to sometimes change your game a little bit. But yeah, you know, these are still kids across the board. You know, we can't go too much. You know, sometimes they might have only been playing for 4 or 5 years. So
yes,
you know, by the time they're 30, they probably won't make that mistake. But right now, it doesn't help you as a coach when you don't want your 18-year-olds to make that sort of mistake.
Here come Wales once more. Meriden inside to Travers. Turns, he just about manages to keep the ball. He tried to throw it off the leg of the Irish defence, but it bounced off his heel as it went out.
Really like that rip-through move there. Just went with a lot of speed, didn't hesitate, went for the rip-through, managed to go baseline. Just couldn't find the passing angle, but being aggressive is probably the only way that Wales stay in this game. See, they've gone into a zone here.
Yeah. Moving together. Price is wide open. And they found his way to Kehoe. And the offensive rebound. Not once, but... Well, I was about to say not once, but twice. But on the second time of asking, Meriden comes up with the ball.
I'm interested to see what the stats call that, because I think that might go down as offensive rebound and steal, but they may just give it as the rebound. But this is something we saw last year, particularly in that Wales-England game, was they went into a zone. England couldn't shoot it very well, but kept themselves going by getting 2 offensive rebounds every possession. You know, we've seen it before. We'll see it again. Like they've got to make sure that they control the defensive glass if you're going to play a zone, especially on these rims.
Absolutely. Because instinctively, when you said they've gone into a zone, I panicked inside about this Irish side. Because all I'm thinking is, oh my goodness, surely from what I've seen today, you don't want to be in a zone against a team that can get this hot from outside.
Yeah, I think that's also, you know, sometimes it's a double-edged gamble. That might be the only way that you think you can stop them or get something and maybe find yourself going the other way. Maybe, you know, they take loads of threes and don't make many. You can bait them into doing something that they quite like, but, you know, may not succeed at the time. Especially where it's going, they need to find anything they can.
Here's Ravi once more. Can't get this fast break opportunity either.
That one he did have to take, and that one thought it was going to be a nice finish. He just couldn't get it to go, but creating something himself in the steals.
The travel there from Travers.
Yeah, unfortunate. Looked like he slipped just on the floor there as he was going up. So it's just an unfortunate one there.
He found good position. He's had real impact in this game here. As Durran Foster heads out of the game and Joe Thomas returns. Joe Thomas with the steal. Instant impact from the captain. And the layup he makes no mistakes on.
No, and I would say probably not worth going for the dunk there. You just need the easy points.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit later on when he's feeling a little bit warmer, he might throw that one down and get the crowd going. But this is exactly why they've gone into this zone. If they can get tips and steals and go the other way in transition, maybe it's a gamble worth taking against this Irish shooting.
And once again, the offensive rebound is the downfall of the Welsh defensive system.
Yeah, just not much size there at the nominal 3 and 4 positions. So Travers is providing the height, or Tudor now, but then at that 3 and 4 slot, those are quite small forwards.
Absolutely.
So this gives them more mobility in the zone. But then the guards at the top, they need to maybe look for areas on the floor, try and judge where the rebound's going. If it gets shot from the corner, it's probably coming to the 45 on the other side. Is normally my advice, and maybe from the 45 it's going over to the corner. You've got to kind of work out where the rebound's going, and the whole team has to commit to finding a spot and then going after it. You might not be able to find a body, but if you just go after the ball, maybe you've got a chance.
And again, that instinctive awareness of where it's going to go, that's just reps and experience too, right? Yeah,
Dennis Rodman was great, but it took him a long time to get anywhere close to that. And yeah, it's tough to learn that skill. It's a very unusual skill, but if you have it, then it's a great one to have.
Dennis Rodman also gave up on every other aspect of the game.
Yeah, he enjoyed just rebounding and defense, and that's the kind of player that I can get behind. Scoring's overrated, Dav. It's all about rebounds. There's unusual defense from Wales. I saw Jack Davis and Joe Thomas holding hands at the top to try and prevent Osei Rion from getting through.
Here is Davies trying to burst through this defense like a one-man battering ram. It's not worked for him. That's a beautiful spin. The step through. It's a fantastic bucket by Mudazingwa. A fantastic score.
Yeah, nice spin move and then way to execute under pressure. We've seen the hand holding again there. Now the Wales crowd are getting a little bit more into it. A couple of local guys. Guneji Mudzingwa playing at Cardiff and Vale College. See, Ravi came in at playing Archers here. So a couple of Cardiff guys coming in and helping to get things moving.
Joe Thomas there. A couple of fast breaks now where Joe Thomas seems to just be a little more measured than everyone else and a bit cool under pressure there.
Well, he's an experienced player. He did this last year.
Yeah.
He's an experienced player with Ipswich as well, and I'm sure that he was out at Combine last summer. Wow. Playing out on the circuit in the States. So you do need leaders even in a junior team. You need people who have been playing longer than your fellow juniors. And while it feels silly to call these guys juniors,
yes,
it's literally not seniors. So
yeah.
It's tough to have experienced heads at this age group. So if you do have one or two players who have that know-how and have those leadership skills, that is so vitally important.
And Wales go 0 for 2 once again. Here is Tudor looking for assistance. And they can recycle now through Davies. It'll stay Wales ball.
Looks like hockey subs there for Ireland.
A full 5 in, 5 out.
It's not unusual in basketball. It's just
rare.
Yeah, it is quite rare, and normally you like to feed units in, but Paul Keller needs to see lots of guys playing. Maybe he wants to look at different combinations of players, or they've just played plenty of time and he wants to get them all off. Like, he's got all 12, he's well within his rights to do it however he likes.
And there is Oasis. Thought he'd saved it, but the ball is out.
No, but that's good hustle there, just not quite paying off. Just Wales winning this quarter 9-5, so it's been a low scoring one. Wales scored 9 points in both quarters, but maybe the zone seems to have paid off in terms of Ireland's shooting's gone a little bit cold.
There you go, Tom.
Commentator's curse. You're welcome, Wales. Apologies.
It seems like Wales were proving me wrong when it came to the zone. And the block, once again for Ireland, rejects the Welsh advance.
Yeah, strong take by Cameron Jackson. Thought he'd gone to the left hand to try and create some separation. Just really nice block. And I think what I quite like there is, yeah, you get pumped after that block. You don't have to yell at people's face, but his teammates were hyping him up and he was hyping himself up. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with celebrating when you've had a good play.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we all like to see. Here's Davies, turns down the screen from Tudor. Tudor has to recover. Joe Thomas doesn't have the time to put the shot up.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a hospital pass from Mazingwa there. You're firing it across with only 2 seconds left on the clock. He didn't really have a good look himself, and you know, Boz players' instinct. That's a good pass. Let's get it. But you know, sometimes you just run out of time, and you can't really. Probably not going to fault either of them for that one. Absolutely.
The Welsh translation for hospital pass is one of my favourite Welsh words in the world. A sputbus. Here are Ireland. Once again, the offensive rebounds tallying up for the men in green.
Yeah, getting away with that, Wales. They need to do a better job of all going for it. I saw a couple of players there not all committing to the rebounds, and they don't have enough size to not.
Tudor trying to get that little shovel pass across. And it'll stay Welsh ball. 13 seconds on the clock, plenty of time for them to set something up here. One Davies in, one Davies out. Lucas will come into the game. Lucas Davies trying to get open straight away, and the ball goes straight out from one restart. We'll get another.
I think they think that one was tipped, but the referee here had a perfect view, and if it goes out without touching anyone, it goes back and inbounded in the same place.
Tudor and Davies. Joe Thomas happy to drop deeper to receive it.
A nice little bit of movement here from Wales.
But Zingwa's open. The handle was loose. And Ireland having an opportunity here. Oasis. Ireland happy to recycle. And a brilliant spin on that ball, but couldn't quite find the bottom of the net. Here is Jackson. Tudor. Jackson trying to help him out, but battered by the Irish defence.
Yeah, a few too many sort of little tippy-tappy passes inside the keys.
Irishman is still down.
Yeah, Wells just looks like he's hurt. Paul Kelleher demanding a foul.
Let's take another look at this. That was the Welsh effort at the other end. Seems to be a hip issue. Player's happy to pause whilst Oasis takes his time to get to his feet.
We can just see a replay here. I can't see any.
I don't believe there's a foul on
any contact on that one. I think he was expecting contact, changed the body type changed like the shape of the body and landed awkwardly. I can't.
It seems as if the injury might have come from the impact on the ground there. Yeah, I don't see any contact there.
Yeah, it's a really tough one. I think the referees have made the right decision there, and I think that's just an unfortunate incident. Or any contact there is minuscule. You never like to see a player go down hurt, but
absolutely.
No, it doesn't look to me like there's a foul there.
Well, the Irish managed to tag on two more. Just over one possession remaining in this first half, and it's a travel by Tudor. Once again, maybe just a lack of discipline causing problems for Wales once more.
Yeah, just need to make sure that you're confident in what you want to do. So if you want to pass that ball, then you get yourself set and you pass that ball. If you want to dribble it, you hold yourself and you dribble it.
Lucas Davies ended up on the floor for that one, and the Irish will end up at the charity stripe.
Yeah, looks like Tudor owned up to that one, just a bit too much of a forearm in the back there.
Okoji at the line. These will be his first points if he can make them. A miss on the first. Okoji misses both. Can Wales make the most of these final 10 seconds? Lucas Davies. Mudzingwa, nice handle. The ball is lost. There was a travel before the whistle there, wasn't there?
Yeah, Tudor thinks that because it's back court, but it was tipped. So referee gave a signal. Now, as a referee, when I referee, I don't know about whether or not I'm supposed to signal, but you should probably take a quick look at the ref.
Yeah.
So he didn't realise that it wouldn't have been a back court. Again, I think this is the thing where you just catch it and play on and see if the referee notices. But yeah, there's going to be a little bit of time on the clock. I'm probably going to guess. Yeah, we've gone for 1 second. It's the most clocks in the UK. You can the most the least you can add is a second.
Taking a timeout.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try and draw a play to see. I imagine it's going to be a backdoor lob of some form. There's not really much time left to get anything else in. But again, when it comes down to it, this is not the main thing for Ireland this summer. For England, yes, a lot of those players will lead into GB, and England leads on a lot of the GB stuff. Although it's becoming a little bit more separate now that GB is starting to sort of restore itself. For Wales, this is probably the pinnacle for us, and same for Scotland in a sense. But for Ireland, this is right. If we need a play to go and get 2 points towards the end of one of our FIBA matches, what have we got? So I think as a coach,
it's a chance to test something out.
I think you should. At no point really in this tournament should you go, oh, maybe I shouldn't because we're up by loads and there's only a second left. No, you're trying to improve your team. So I fully agree with this time out. It'll be interesting to see what they got going on. I would imagine that there's a lot of movement towards the ball and probably some form of backdoor lob.
Well, there's not much more exciting than a lob from the side out. Referee's calling teams back into action. Let's see how this one goes.
I think this might be run for Okoji here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or maybe the first guy's coming across and then they'll all scoot round. No, they've gone for the shot. Interesting. They went for the shot.
Surprising.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we probably thought the same thing. That if Wales come out expecting the lob and then they go for the shooter, nice little surprise tactical move there.
Just didn't quite pay off. Well, Kehoe didn't quite give us the highlight reel play that we thought we were going to get to end that half. We'll have to settle for the 3 buzzer beaters that we've had today here at Archers Arena. Thank you ever so much for joining us for that first half of Wales versus Ireland. In fact, Wales won that quarter against Ireland 10-9. Ireland are up 37-19. Thank you ever so much for joining us. We'll be back in just about 10 minutes for the second half of action for the penultimate game of the day here at the Four Nations. The referee just gave 1 minute, so... Hello and welcome back to Archers Arena. We're just about getting ready for the second half of the penultimate game here at the Under-18 Four Nations tournament here with Basketball Wales. Thank you ever so much for joining us live on the YouTube channel. Make sure to stick around for that final game. It's going to be an absolutely massive one between the Wales and Scotland women. It's going to be huge. But also remember that there's 6 pool games for you tomorrow. So there's so much more basketball left here. Tom, what's the game that you're most excited to see?
I think it's probably the last one of tomorrow, that Wales women versus England women. Last year, that was an absolute cracker of a game, and I'm expecting more of the same. You know, that game in any sport brings out the passions.
Absolutely.
But the crowd was so great in here last year for that game, and Coach Azza Smalley's really got, like, they lost today, so they'll want to bounce back later against Scotland, and then, you know, everyone's always up for a Wales-England clash.
Absolutely.
And you know, the two teams are relatively evenly matched. Yeah, you probably make England the favourites, but Wales almost pulled it off last year, and Izzy Bunyan could win any game. Oh,
absolutely. England looked so strong today. They got so much talent, so much balance to that squad. That's going to be a fascinating fixture, and I hope you all see us there. But now to focus on the task at hand is Wales men against Ireland men. Currently, Wales down by 18, 19 to 37. We've got one half to see if they can turn this around, or at very least work some stuff out that they can take with them into their match tomorrow. We are underway once more. Here's Davies, finding Luke Davies. Haven't seen a lot of Meriden on the offensive end so far in this game. Jack Davies almost got his own rebound there.
That was well blocked on that one. Not chasing the block, just verticality, and it proved that they still got the length to be able to contest effectively when they do just go up with the more traditional verticality.
And Carberry unable to get the 3, but the offensive rebound from Cuff is fantastic. Oasis has returned. That injury clearly not particularly serious, as he's able to carry on with play here in the second half.
Yeah, good to see that. I think it's just an awkward landing when I was on earlier with James Dorr in the Wales women versus Ireland women game. It just sounds like sometimes when you land, you get a bit more shock than anything else. So hopefully that's it, and there's no further problems. It's always good to see someone come back from injury.
And that will go the way of the Welsh. Joe Thomas on the ground there, colliding with Cuff.
Yeah, good sportsmanship, just helping each other up there after a little bit of a tussle. You expect international basketball to be hard, but you also expect people to play fair. So even just little stuff like that is always good to see. Absolutely.
Here is Davies. Rhys Cornelius out far away from the basket.
A little bit more purpose here to Wales' offense there. Just a little bit more movement before they try anything.
Nice bounce pass into Oasis, and he gets the and one.
Yeah, tough take. That reverse layup when you're facing away from the hoop and going the same way on the offhand. Really nice move there. That's a tough finish.
He's so tall, such long arms. That's got to be so difficult to defend when someone's able to pull the ball away so far from where you're expecting it to be.
I think sometimes when you're defending, you have to not always go for the block like Ireland have been doing. Sometimes you just play good defense and hope that is enough to force them to miss.
Yes. Here is Davies. Rhys Cornelius is in the post, asking for it. It's a good move. That's a strong move, taken well. Rhys Cornelius, he was fantastic in the first match this morning. He's carrying that on today.
I like that move. Just a couple of dribbles and a strong hook.
A huge defensive play there from that man, Rhys Cornelius.
Looks like they've gone with kick ball.
Let's take a look at that block.
Yeah, went straight up with the arms. You might want to argue that he wasn't quite in front, but fundamentally he's made a very good effort to go straight up, and the referee's rewarding that.
Here's Davies.
You might want to argue it, but I don't want to argue it, but I'm just throwing that out there.
One might.
Yeah.
Here is Meriden.
And just a bit more purpose as well as offense. They're cutting a little bit harder, so the pressure's not coming as much there from Ireland, and maybe they're looking at, they've done their pressure work there. Right, now let's look at something else. Wales just need to keep creating that space and keep moving around with a little bit of purpose and tempo, and they'll be able to get downhill and get some looks.
Davies looking for Cornelius. Luckily about saved, but then the Irish happen to recover it. Here's Orsis. He's open from 3. You know he's going to take it. He can't quite make it. Joe Thomas was open there as an outlet for the fast break. Wales decided to turn it down. Here's Merriman.
And again, always a tough balance as a coach. I think later on we'll have this discussion probably a little bit more from a Wales perspective, but when do you start thinking about the next game? Maybe they've focused here on being solid and getting the ball up. Maybe that's been a discussion point.
Here is Cuff. Nice shovel pass. And that's a strong finish by Oscar Ryan.
Yeah, 2 good bits of basketball there. Great pass. In the 2-3 zone, they drew out the middle defender, and the wing defender just didn't duck back in quickly enough, allowing that little open pass. Really nice pass, really tough finish there. So it's a good basketball there, and Wales have a lot to talk about in terms of that zone defense there, and maybe a little bit of that offensive execution.
Also, Ryan's been really impressive in this match. That's his 9th point of the day. Interesting, Jack Davis, in the first game, he was the leading scorer for Wales. In this one, he's got 0, but he's got 5 rebounds? I was going to say boards, and I was going to say rebounds. 5 rebounds for Jack Davis in this one so far. Interesting to see that. He's 0 for 12.
Yeah, like we said, I think a couple of those were desperation ones, but also, he's been blocked at the rim a couple of times. It's just not happened for him today. So you've got 2 choices when you're having a tough day. You can either keep going and try and shoot your way out of it. Not really the recommended approach, especially if I'm talking from a coaching perspective.
Yeah.
Or you've got to find a different way to impact the game. So Jack's got the skill set. If he comes in, he can defend a bit, and maybe he can look to move the ball on to initiate the offense, and hope that someone else is able to pick up the slack with the scoring. The most for Wales is 6.
Yes.
So they need to find a way of adapting their offense and trying to get someone else to maybe score the ball.
I feel like the best thing we can say for Jack is it doesn't seem to have phased him too much, but he's 0 for 12.
But we do need Joe Thomas on the ball more, probably, or finishing the plays more from a Wales perspective. If he's their best player, and he's got such good size and he plays like a guard, he probably needs to be going downhill. They need to find a way to get him attacking the rim more. He's probably the most likely to be able to finish at the rim. He's only taken 4 shots today. He picked up that unsportsmanlike and sat for a little bit, but he's still only got 1 foul overall. But yeah, he's only taken 2 shots inside the arc, so he probably needs to get going downhill a little bit more.
Merriman with the about as unlucky a bounce as you can get off the rim there. And the second is missed entirely. Not like Merriman there. Cuff able to blow past. Oasis misses the left corner 3. Here is Davis, allowing Joe Thomas to reset. Finds his way back to Merriman.
Nice action there.
And Davis heard my complaints. He's no longer 0 for anything.
He needed that one. And then poor transition defense going this way, and that is an absolute killer. You finally open the account, you generate a good open look off a nice little play, and then you allow a good shooter a wide open transition 3. As a coach, that's got to make Nick O'Leary really quite annoyed.
And there we go. He's 2 for 2 in his last 2. Let's just start counting from there. And the putback.
Wow.
That's a beautiful finish.
That's one for the highlight tape.
Absolutely.
Caught the ball, scooped it around in midair. Really impressive stuff there.
Kyrie Irving-esque. Well, that'll stay Wales' ball.
Yeah, not operating in enough space there. Really, they've got to find a way of stretching that floor a little bit more.
And Jack Davis hit his first 2 shots, and now he will hit the bench.
Looks like he's limping slightly. Doesn't look like he's operating there at 100%.
Yeah. Definitely slightly lame. Josh Tudor and Ravi have returned for the Welsh.
Nice little play, pick and pop there. They've just got to get more nice little simple plays going to help build their confidence.
And that's another brilliant play. They were unable to make it work for the Irish.
Yeah, I think he thinks he was fouled. May have taken a. Yeah, looks like he's taking a hit to the head there.
Carberry there. Merriman unable to make a real impact on the scoring here. He's got 0 points. He had a few beautiful mid-range shots in the game this morning against England. Joe Thomas kills the first at the line.
From Wales' perspective, hopefully this is the little kick that gets Joe Thomas going, seeing the ball go through the hoop a couple of times, picking up a couple of points. Nice little bit of tactics there from Ireland to try and put off the shooter. Dowcuff just stepping across, demanding his teammates move, and it did enough.
Here's Oasis. Yeah, blocking foul, no question there.
A bit too much contact, and especially on the baseline, like in those circumstances where you may end up forcing someone out of bounds on that turnover. Really important as a referee that you get those ones right, because if you just miss a blocking foul in the middle of the floor, they won't fall out of bounds there. Yeah, they may lose the ball. But down there, if they immediately step out of bounds, yeah, like when it's an extra, you use the baseline as an extra defender. So if that ends up having a negative impact, you need to be hot on those.
Here is Cuff, lays it off. And Carberry once again trying to attack inside. Ireland moving this around beautifully. And the air ball to finish it off from Nkewe.
Better defense there. Good contest at the end, but just a little bit of energy. This crowd are desperate to have something to latch on to. Wales are just sort of about hanging in there. If they go on a little run here, I think this place will start to take off a little bit.
Absolutely. The scoring in this quarter has nearly already matched the scoring from the entire second quarter. Let's see if Wales can tag on any more. Nice quick pass from Joe Thomas there to the corner. And Ravi has a line, and he drives it.
And you can just hear that noise, and that's exactly what Ravi can do. He just has that little burst of speed. He sees that lane, and he can just keep going. He doesn't slow down at any point. That was a nice take from Ravi.
His first step is so quick. And then you're just surprised that every single step after that seems to follow the pace. Davies looking down low for Tudor.
That's nice. Good basketball. Nice little spin move there from Tudor, and then the pivot back. Foster just cuts through, grabs the ball and puts up the floater, and we can hear that crowd going.
Darren Foster with his first made basket. And Oasis just seems to know how to ruin the party here today. Yeah,
I was going to say, I can see Gerald Walker and Lucas Davis, Dad Neil Davis up there, desperate to latch on to any momentum and help build that atmosphere. And just a nice little party killer there from Ireland.
Ravi nearly travelled there, has to kick it out. And that'll go the way of the Welsh. Ravi has definitely made an impact every time he's arrived on the court here.
3 steals and just a little bit of attacking in transition. I'd like to have seen Joe Thomas stay on there a little bit longer, but Conor Hamilton played a nice little bit of defence earlier, so although I've been that's the catalyst there for him.
A lack of awareness there as the Welsh team lets the clock run out, looking for an opportunity to shoot.
Yeah, and that's a double whammy. Players need to know what the shot clock's on, but when the ball's about to get inbounded, the crowd could probably help a little bit more there, to be honest, but particularly on the bench. The bench doesn't have many jobs during the game, but one of them is to cheer, one of them is to count the shot clock.
Count the shot clock down, yes. Beautiful pass in from Carberry once more, and Oasis, who seems to just be attacking and attacking once again.
Foster ping for the foul there. Looks like it was a good stand inside, but Foster just coming through from the back. Just in the background of the shots there, yeah, we could see Gerald Walker and Neil Davis. And last year they made such a great atmosphere. Obviously, always nervy for a father to watch their son play for their country. But Lucas has stepped up from last year where he was on the fringes of the team, not playing much, and he's taken on a key role.
Yeah.
He spent a few years up at Derby, and he's looking quite assured out there. Not easy to play against this sort of pressure, but a great learning curve, and I think he's doing a good job so far.
Absolutely, what an experience this tournament provides for young basketball talent. Here is Ravi, beautiful bounce pass. And he's able to turn his Tudor. Wales can recover the ball here. And no, they can't. Tudor just about losing control, just when we thought.
Couple of nice looks there, but just couldn't quite get them to fall. But process-wise, they're still hanging around within the range where a run forces an Ireland timeout rather than just a okay, this is now 20. 19. If you can just chip it away to 15, 14, anything can happen in the fourth quarter of a game.
Absolutely.
Ireland need that close game experience. Wales are hanging in there. They're hanging around, and they've just got to convert these looks. That running hook there from Judy, you'd like that to go down, or maybe needs to stop and turn back the other way if they're so desperate to block. Foster on the putback. Like, these are the sorts of things that they're close. Yes. They're really close to getting it. They just need to make sure that they convert, because fundamentally there is far less room for error. Looks like Winnie Embleton's also limping, so potentially a couple of injuries there for Wales. There's far less margin for error at the international level. This is the step up from domestic, local league, national leagues, EABLs. International level is hard. There's far less room for mistakes.
And Wales are able to retrieve the ball from that rebound. Here is Ravi finding Davies. And that's, I want to say poor. I also want to say well done to our assist for
double whammy. He's playing in the passing lanes. He forced the second guessing, and gets the reward with the steal and the 2 points.
And that'll take Oasis to 20 points on the night.
Yep, solid moving screen call there. That's a pretty easy one. Lucas Davies just using the hips a little bit too much on that one.
Absolutely.
It's just one of those things where when you're desperately searching, you're hunting for some form of advantage, and when you're down, sometimes that's just one of those things that goes against you.
Ireland trying to work it up the baseline here. Forced to go back out. Here's Oasis. And he misses everything. Not what you'd expect there at all.
Good defense all over the place. Ravi playing nice help defense on the baseline, getting a steal, contains. Nice help across from Darrell Foster. Good contest. Again, we're talking about the little chains that you have to put together if you want to build any form of momentum, and you start with those little bits.
And it's not going to be any momentum for the Welsh if they keep giving the ball away. That's a bad foul by Ravi into the basket. Referees need to have a discussion here.
So I think they're discussing whether or not it's an unsportsmanlike foul. I think probably right corner foul. I don't think that that's an unsportsmanlike foul from my perspective. I had a quick chat with the referees at half time about the other one, so they're going to go over and have another look. Apparently there was one in the previous game. I must have gone out for a coffee at that point.
Yes, I did try and point it out, but you were caught up in the
I was so excited. Well, I told these guys I was going to give them credit anyway, but the first time that we got two.
Yes.
Right, there we go.
First time there's been two in one game.
There we go. So they're going to take a look at this. Two of the rest will go over.
First time it's been used in a Wales game.
There we go. There we go. And we'll make history everywhere. They're just taking a look at the.
I think if they're going to review that and they see the same kind of replay that we saw, they're going to say that that's not an unsportsmanlike foul.
Yeah, it's they'll be looking for excessive contact from behind. It's a very good effort to get the ball.
Yeah, he really
definitely gets the body with the hip, as we see here. Yeah, definitely gets the body. He gets the ball, but he also gets the body.
It is,
and they've just gone with a regular foul. That's a great decision from the officials.
I'm going to say.
Agree
with that.
Officials always get said, but I think they've made the correct call on both of their reviews.
Yes.
There, so. Credit where credit's due. He did get the hip, absolutely no doubt. There's a foul on that, but he also got a lot of the ball. It's an earnest attempt on the ball, and I think that they've come away with the right decision there.
Completely agree.
It'd be easy to get caught up. Go over to the review. We've seen it. We see it with football all the time, don't we? They're going over to the monitor.
VAR.
Yeah. So good use there of the system by the ref to just double check and then to confirm the correct decision.
And I like the speed of it. Sometimes it becomes a problem, especially in the NBA, where it becomes a 7, 8, 9 minute delay over a travel violation or a toe out of bounds, and that's when it becomes an issue again.
Yeah, just get over, have a look at a couple of replays. You know, they've only got access to the same stuff where it's not like they've got hidden cameras everywhere, and just normally your gut is correct.
Yes. Great drive there. Tudor almost got the rebound, but the Irish come away with it once more, looking to finish out this third quarter strong.
Nice extra pass.
It's a big three, and it's well rebounded by Mazingwa. Can he take it court to court? He finds Davies in the corner. Beautiful pass to Tudor.
Oh, just creeps in. Mazinga wasn't happy he didn't get the foul call on the other end, but I think probably a little bit out of control, but really nice job to just stop there, kick it out, and a lovely pass, like you said. Just, again, we could talk about 3 good bits of basketball in one possession, and that leads to an open layup.
It's really impressive dime there from Davies. And he's trying to do so again. And he's asking just a little bit too much of Josh Tudor.
You know, they're trying to string stuff together. It's not particularly easy under this sort of pressure. It's a different unit than we might have expected to see. But they're hustling hard. They're trying to box out. They're trying to make the right plays. And you can't really ask for too much more from a coaching perspective.
Absolutely. This tournament, and this game especially, is not do or die for basketball in Wales or for this under-18 squad. This is a long-term project where we're at the earlier stages than some of these other home nations, right?
Yeah, Ireland obviously has a lot of experience playing in European basketball. You know, they've got a great setup. I asked Alan Keane earlier, just a little one, like, what makes Ireland produce so many great basketball players? And he went, Tom, we don't have enough time to discuss that. They put a lot of hard work into it.
Right.
You know, they've got their own national basketball arena.
Yeah.
You know, infrastructure takes a while to build. The stepping stones have been put in place for that in Wales, but it's early days still.
We still need time to develop.
It's the experience at the domestic level, like how strong is your local league, how strong are your national leagues.
Yeah.
And also sometimes it's just, you know, when you're a small country, it's the lottery of birth.
Population.
The lottery of birth. Like, you know, England's got 50 million people in it. They're more likely to have quite a bit of talent to select from. Wales, we obviously look outside of Wales a lot with Welsh heritage, but also just sometimes you get a 7-footer and sometimes you don't.
Yes. Clock's ticking down, 2, and a foul on the shot. Not what Durran Foster would have wanted there. The Irish will get a chance at 3 more before this quarter comes to an end.
It's
definitely a foul, isn't it?
Bit of ill discipline there for 2 3-point fouls in quick succession.
Yeah, no contest.
Yeah, so they're just looking at time back on the clock, but that's. Yeah, that's just lacking a little bit of discipline on that, and you know that's sometimes the nature when you're coaching a young group.
Also Ryan here misses the first, but he's still got a chance at 2 more. The second goes down. He nails the last 2. Let's see how long the Welsh have left to try and get some heave up. They didn't even manage to retain the ball, but that is the end of the third quarter. We've got 1 final quarter left here in the final men's game of the day here at the Under-18 Four Nations tournament here at the Archers Arena. 33 to 55. It's down to 33 to 57, I apologize. The live stats has not updated yet. So it's 24 points, the difference. Is there just pride on the table now for Wales in this fourth quarter? Or is it just working out some sets, trying to figure out what they can take on from this tournament?
I think every game is pride in that sense, but you know they've still got Scotland to come.
Yes.
2 games today. They've only got one tomorrow, so they're not exactly fresh right now. It's working out, right, what are the bits that we can continue to develop here? So we can look at a couple of actions. We can look at a couple of defenses. They still have to approach it. They've still got one game left.
Yes.
Nobody ever wants to finish a tournament winless.
Yeah.
They did a good job last year. This year they got, a different group of players. They still want to come away with a win in that Scotland game. So what's going to help us beat Scotland? Okay, let's work on this. It's definitely not a case of, okay, we've got 10 minutes left, everyone just go out and enjoy representing Wales. Still, yes, there's always pride, but there is still stuff to work on. You still need to see groups, and fundamentally at the highest levels, there are no off periods of play. Even if you're watching, NBA basketball is what a lot of people watch. Even in blowouts, those guys are still playing as hard as they can because they want more playing time.
They're fighting for competition.
There'll be players, you still want to look at certain units as a coach, but also if you do put on your players, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of your roster, they want to prove that they should be in that top 7.
Yes,
they want to shift up a place in the roster, so there's still plenty to play for. So there'll be a few players here who, going forward, this is still a chance for me to show what I can do for Wales.
Absolutely. And thank you ever so much for staying along with us up until now. We've got one more quarter of action. This is the penultimate game of the day. If you've been with us from the start, please make sure to let us know. Get at us on social medias. Let us know how many games you watched, what your favourite game of the day was. And we've got fantastic sponsors that I have to just give a massive thanks to, and that's iPro, Hydration, the Basketball Wales National League, Starting 5, Smaller Ballers, Bigfoot Basketball, Sport Wales, and of course our partners, Prifysgol Met Cardiff. Let's get into the action of this fourth and final quarter of Wales against Ireland. The Irish get us underway. Moving around the perimeter, the bounce pass is clean. The finish is clean. Every single time they've started with the ball in their hands, they score with the first action, Iron.
Yeah, and it's generally a backdoor cut. They ran it really well earlier. They ran it really well last night. As a coach, when you see backdoor cuts pay off for layups, that's the sort of thing that makes you go, yeah, I've kind of done my job on that one.
Here is Price. He had a huge fourth quarter against Scotland. And that's 4 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, they got lucky there. I think that first layup probably would have gone in on most regular hoops, but to allow 4 offensive rebounds and lots of tip-ins, you've got to come in and you've got to try and clear someone out, really.
Rhys Cornelius continues his perfect night. He's yet to miss this evening.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys with sort of the genuine size to match up to Ireland. It'd be good to see him get a little bit of burn here and see how he can cope. He's built more as like an old-school traditional post player. These Irish post players are quite tall and athletic, so it'll be interesting to see how he matches up with that.
Carry called by the referee there against the Irish. Rhys Cornelius been fantastic in both appearances here for Wales. Interesting to see if he's a piece to build around for the future of basketball for the senior team. Nice quick ball movement there. Fakes the pass, looks to go inside. Happens to out-muscle him. That's fantastic. Those broad shoulders once again coming in to aid Rhys Cornelius in the post.
There's nothing wrong with old-school posts up.
Yeah.
Burrows his shoulder into the defender's chest. Muscles his way down there. Forces the defender off balance. They try to recover and commit the foul. I'm a big fan of the old-school post-up as a serious weapon, because if you can, sometimes in order to generate those open threes, you've got to go and put some pressure on the paint first, and he's done a really good job of that there.
This is what I was thinking when you were saying that Wales doesn't usually produce many athletes. I think he just looks like a second row from rugby to me.
It wouldn't surprise me if he played it. Most basketball players in Wales seem to have played rugby at some point.
Most people in Wales.
Yeah, I could see maybe Ravi's an exception to that.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe there's a market there. Maybe we need to start tailoring basketball scouting to rugby camps.
We all know that basketball's number 1.
And it's a travel called underneath the basket there from Jackson.
It's good to get under the hoop wide open. They're just under the pressure. There are lots of bodies around. Yeah, that's a travel.
No question.
But from a process point of view, yeah, we got the ball right under the hoop there.
Ireland moving the ball pretty quickly here. Just about saving it. And it's come all the way out to Ryan. Can't nail the 3 this time.
There's the show court rims here. Arches Arena, not very forgiving if you don't get it spot on, but that almost felt typical of Wales's efforts today. Lots of hustle, got handed on 2 loose balls. It still ends up wide open for a 3 for Ireland.
Muzingwa tried to get that rebound down, but it's come back for Ireland. And Scully couldn't quite get the 3 to finish either. Here's also Ryan trying to drive straight through Muzingwa. And the 3 from the corner for Okoji is good. Those are his first points of today's matchup.
And when your bigs can stretch the floor like that, impossible to guard.
Davis trying to get the strip out before he could get the shot up. Ended up fouling Ryan.
I wonder if maybe he actually got the defensive attempt too good at the start there. Like didn't quite get it 100%, but managed to just get the ball, but it stayed in the attacker's hands. We didn't have a great view there, but if a player wants to foul, they normally will.
Yes.
So the fact that it wasn't good, it looked like he maybe did too good a job.
Ryan tags on 2 more. He's up to 15 on the evening. Ravi's got an opportunity here if he can execute. Muzingwa turns down the shot.
Now Ireland bringing that zone pressure. So they played a bit of man pressure. They're looking there at the zone pressure. So still, like we said for Wales, looking to still run stuff. Same thing for Ireland.
Muzingwa trying to get back, and he just about manages to put off the Irish attack.
Yeah, there's one thing that you cannot fault him for, and that is his desire to do whatever it takes to try and positively impact this game. All over the defensive end, all over the offensive rebounds, driving hard. Like really, like if some players are more technically refined, some players are big, some players are guards, whatever it is. Sometimes you need that player who's that little bit of a wrecking ball, that little bit of chaos, and Muzingwa's bringing that right now.
Absolutely nothing but hustle. He has been everywhere so far. We've played about 2 minutes into this 4th quarter. Sorry, just over 3 minutes into this 4th quarter. Ireland still up, this time by 29 points, 37 to 66. So we're seeing improvements from the Welsh team so far. Right, so in the first quarter it was 9, then it was 10, and then it was 14. What do you think they need to focus on most if they're to continue improving in this 4th quarter?
So they got, 6:42 left.
Yeah.
I think you pick the offensive ends now.
Of course.
I think you look at trying to generate those open looks a little bit more in the half court.
Right.
They seem to have done quite well in transition. How are you consistently generating good looks offensively in the half court? What are your sets that know that you get a little bit of movement? You know, if you have a couple of nice driving kicks and you happen to turn it over, you probably live with that. But right now, they get a little bit static. You know, they can get it in transition in the half court. They've struggled a little bit in the half court. But just look at the stats. We've got 18 points in the paint, and we've got 9 fast break points. They probably need to try and generate a few more in the half court. They've sort of relied, a quarter of their points coming in transition.
Makes sense.
Maybe fine if you're on 80, but still trying to score in fast break. But once you get down the other end, what are you running?
And is that because they might be lacking that point guard specialist playmaker per se? Because it doesn't seem as if anyone's that. For example, here we see Lauren Psyche for the WBBL side for the Archers.
There's the pressure as well. By the time you get the ball down the other end against the pressure, 15 seconds left by the time you just about cross the halfway line, and the pressure doesn't stop then. So that's one of those things where that pressure does have an impact. If they continue to bring the zone pressure, then maybe they're going to have to look at trying to attack out of that pressure a little bit quicker, and maybe they can't run something. That's the knock-on impact of the pressure.
Here come Ireland once more. It's Oasis. He nails another 3. What a talent he looks to be.
Yeah, nice efficient game so far.
Trying to find Davies. Passed it out, turns down the 3. Davies from the elbow. Falling away, couldn't make it work.
A little bit better though. A couple of driving kicks, a flow into a pick and roll, a wide open. He didn't quite get his balance right. I think he thought he was going to be more heavily guarded than that. But like we said, those little signs there that they do have the capability to run a more consistent half-court offense.
Ravi, after a little scrap, comes up with the ball. Sees the bucket and goes straight for it. Cornelius did clean up, but the whistle had already gone. 2 shots for a shove in the back on Ravi.
As he was going up, he felt the bump, but didn't quite hear the whistle in time, so ended up passing off. So no free throws there. But one of those ones where as soon as you hear that whistle, you should probably look to try and go up.
Uosis on the ball, leads the game in scoring with 23. Another huge offensive rebound for Okoji there. That'll be Wales ball.
Yeah, nice take. Just couldn't get it to fall, but you got to like the aggression there. There's that zone pressure. Looks like it's 1-2-2. So looking at trying to get double teams.
Ravi just half a second too late crossing midcourt.
Yeah, 8-second call there. Just over. You've got to have control of possession. Now some shot clocks are different. You can't see the shot clock on the stream, but this one when it hits 16 is the 8-second call. Some are 15. So I think that was one of the debating points there.
I see. Ravi trying to palm it to a teammate, only palms it to the Irish. Cornelius is able to clean it all up.
Yeah, good, strong passing. There
nice
we go. That's
zipping it around.
Nice. It's unlucky. I'm getting caught up in that. But that just a little bit of zip and a little bit of purpose behind the passing.
Really, really impressed with Rhys Cornelius' game. Across the 2 games I've seen him play today, seems to be able to pass in and out of the post. And then when he's there, if he has to make a move, he's really strong.
So such a nice give and go.
Yeah.
Just bang, bang. Nice little bit of footwork there, and that's a really, really nice take.
Ravi just putting on the afterburners there, and he'll go straight to the line. He's a bit of a firecracker, isn't he? It's just instant offense.
Yeah, that's the thing when you apply that pressure. If you've got speedy guard, a lot of teams have pressed Cardiff Met Archers and under 18s all year, but with that speed that he has, he can sort of break that on his own. And that's a foul number 5 there on Osirion.
Wow. He's no longer in the game. He's taking a seat. I would assume that his evening is over. Perfect trip to the line for Ravi.
Good stint there from Ravi. I think obviously a couple of mistakes, but from Wales' perspective, he does provide that little bit of point of difference. So can give him that confidence to go into the next game, and maybe against Scotland, he's got one of the impact factors.
Interesting for Ireland now. Osirion coming out means that they've got Okoji and Nkewe, so less shooting for their bigs, but definitely a real physical inside presence. Rhys Cornelius is always going to be able to take advantage of that matchup, but he blew the shot.
I really like that move. Realised he had a smaller player on him, quick spin, and there's no way that the smaller defender can stay with him.
Nice step into that from Sheridan. Oasis with a quick ball out to the corner. And here's Lucas Davis trying to push it forward. I think he was expecting the foul there, no whistle. Ball will stay with Wales. Mzingwa, I think he thought he was fouled.
I think he. I don't think so.
I don't think he was.
I'd love to say yes, but I don't think so. They're just Koji throwing the ball there off the Wales player, but unfortunately it bounced straight back onto him as he was out of bounds. So just one of those ones where you've tried to be smart and it just hasn't quite worked out.
Cornelius stripped by Sheridan. Sheridan's got a wide open look at the basket here, and he's going to nail it from 3-point range.
Yeah, you've got to take what's given to you.
Absolutely. Cornelius wide open. Davis trying to give it back to him. They're really feeding Cornelius in this 4th quarter.
He didn't realise he was open.
No.
I think there he, as they were switching the matchups defensively, they just got caught the wrong side, and he didn't realise that he was wide open there. And I think that's a sign that it's just not Wales day to day. If he he's putting a great shift in the crowd, showing the appreciation. But you know, if on
Yeah.
another day he's there and he goes and scores the layup, and today just didn't realise he was open.
Josh Tudor coming in for Cornelius. His night is over. 8 points and 3 rebounds for Reese there. Here come Ireland. Price finds Sheridan. Little heat check there. Here's Sharp. Can't quite get the runner off.
No, and for Ireland, this is a mostly bench unit.
Yes.
Just Okoye from the starting lineup, in as the anchoring presence as the centre, the nominal centre. So a good chance for Paul Kelleher to see what the players 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 in his squad can do here. Across a tournament, you are likely to need 1 or 2 of them at some point.
Yes.
You're always relying on one of them to come in. As you get towards crunch time of major tournaments, you're probably not playing more than 8 or 9 players.
No.
But it's a good chance for them to show what they can do. Can they squeeze into that top 8 or 9? Who's going to show that they may be able to be relied on? So if Sheridan continues with the defense and the hitting of the threes, for example, then that's something that he might be able to force his way into that sort of discussion that you have as a coaching staff.
It was turned into a full bench unit as a coach. He goes and takes a seat. We've got Cuff back on, although he's played major minutes today. Brilliant drive. And he'll head to the line for one more. Nice drive from Sheridan. He's had quite a big impact in the past couple of minutes.
Yeah, he uses his body really nicely there just to get Lucas Davis. So Lucas Davis goes under the screen there, as we can see. Looks like he's going to go for the handoff, fakes it, just squeezes by. And unfortunately, Davis has to use his hip there, and really smart play to fake the handoff and turn it into a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Here is Maryland. Running out of space. Gives it up to Davies.
Yeah, still wanting to apply that pressure. We see that a lot at European basketball. A lot of teams play with that sort of full-court pressure, sometimes if only to take time off the shot clock, but it's a very common tactic across Europe. And something that I don't look like they're going to be throwing at the rest of the continent themselves.
Yeah. Tudor there, got the offensive rebound, but blew the putback. Here comes Wales, unable to make it count once again. It's been the story of the game, hasn't it? They got it into position, or they've made a play that looks nice, or a couple of nice passes, and then just can't quite finish it off.
Yeah, and that's probably the difference between the two sides. Just that clinical execution from Ireland on the most part. They've obviously missed a few layups themselves, but they probably have better fundamentals across the board, and they can execute just at that little bit quicker speed, that little bit higher tempo. Sometimes it only has to be 5% at each thing, but as you add up those 5%, it turns into a fair difference between two teams.
Absolutely. Darren Foster tagged on those last 2 for Wales. There'll be a side out here. 19 seconds on the shot clock.
One of the good things for Paul Keller is he's been able to rotate his team quite a lot in both.
Yes.
In both games, so you know his big guys are fresh for the challenge of England and trying to go undefeated. I don't know if we're calling it the Grand Slam, the Triple Crown, whatever it is. Really important for them that they haven't had to play 70 minutes in a day.
Absolutely. That has been the game that we've all been kind of circling in red as well, where England versus Ireland men's for tomorrow. That's going to be a huge showdown.
Yeah, and they played an interesting friendly last night, but you know England will keep improving. They've not had much time together as a group.
And a dunk for Carberry. His 5th points of the evening leads to roars from the Irish bench.
I think they call that the icing on the cake.
Tries it, Darren Foster. Nearly gave away the foul. 10 seconds remaining. They're just going to let this one dribble out.
Yeah, probably right move. A really clinical performance there. You know that they're fresh. They're ready to go. They've already got the advantage over England, having beaten them on the friendly. England will improve. They'll obviously spend more time together. But that is a clinical performance from Ireland there. But you know they didn't really leave it in any doubt whatsoever.
Absolutely. Ireland managing to more than double the score for the Welsh outfit. The final score is 83 to 41. What a fantastic game it was for Ireland, and an awful lot of learnings taken for this Welsh squad. That has been the penultimate game for us here. Let's look, though, before we go, Tom, who's your player of the match? I think I know who it might be.
Yeah, I think it's Yosis as well. 23 points on 20 shots, so quite efficient. 6 to 12 from the field, from 2, so 50% from 2. You like that. 3 of 8, 37% from 3. Couple of rebounds, couple of assists, couple of steals, no turnovers. Fouled 5 times with no fouls on him. So that's quite efficient in less than half the game. A well-deserved match MVP there for the Irish captain.
Absolutely, the captain leading the line. It's a fantastic game for Ireland. It's a fantastic game for him. What a talent he looks to be for the future of Irish basketball. For Wales, though, there are some big key points that they can take away from this as big positives. It'll be really interesting to see the development of this squad in the coming years as some of these players moving to the senior teams instead of the under-18s where they currently sit, and has some of the younger players within the squad become the senior players within the under-18s, right?
Yeah, and I think probably the key there for Wales today was the performance of the 2 bigs. He's gone in as part of the team last year, didn't play much, got a little bit of an opportunity there today. Got 8 points in 13 minutes with 3 rebounds. Josh Shooter 8 points, not as efficient as he would like, but he created stuff. Probably turned it over 1 or 2 too many times than he would have liked. Yeah. But he'll iron those out of his game, no problem, and 7 rebounds. So I think from that perspective they handled themselves well there. But I think not fully back to the chalkboard for Nick O'Leary and Jack Adams, but they'll be looking at where can we really make those quick gains ahead of that Scotland game tomorrow.
Well, we are just about to head into our final game of the day. It'll be the Welsh women against the Scottish women. Thank you ever so much for joining us here for Wales men against the Ireland men. One last game for you to go. Make sure you follow along with it at the Basketball Wales YouTube page. This has been a fantastic day. Make sure you check in with us tomorrow as well for 6 more games of basketball here at Archers Arena for the Under-18s 4 Nations tournament. My name's been David Jones, joined by Tom Guntrip. Thank you ever so much for being with us today, and good evening.